Don in London, hello, October 29th, 2009. My video's all about recovery from addiction to substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, my behaviour, workaholic, relationshipaholic, anyism, food, gym, sport, you name it. I could get obsessed about it because I was looking for perfection, I suspect, and trying to improve and improve and improve. And what I've learned these days is it is just an improving situation. Progress, not perfection. Everything's in the journey these days rather than the destination. What a relief to actually take the pressure off and just be human, just be a human being, learning how to live life all over again on a daily basis. And addiction took me to very dark places which I never imagined, in terms of my feelings about myself and the world, and being very judgmental of myself and people in the world, because if I could judge myself harshly, maybe I had the right to judge other people. And what I've learned, well, I guess it's something I've relearned, is judge not lest we be judged. There's no point, and people have their own path and their own journey and their own destiny. And the gift these days is I'm not so concerned about where other people are going in terms of their journey, but if they need some help along the way to keep sober, I try and do what I can do. And what's taught me that? Well, a fellowship for which I'm going to be grateful for the rest of my life. I am hoping, but I keep it in the day, and that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't speak for it, never can, never will. It's full of unique, authentic people who speak for themselves, where they choose and where it's appropriate for them. And anonymity, part of the spiritual foundation of the program. For me, anonymity provides the sanctuary to find our spiritual truth. So a slight distinction, different maybe for me. I'm not special and different, it's just what I've come to understand. So anonymity gives sanctuary, spiritual is truth, truth is spiritual, and whatever spiritual means to a person is their own personal understanding as life and times and experience give us a guide to what it is for ourselves. So fellowship is integral to my life and growing, if you like, on a daily basis. A bit of wisdom, experience, strength and hope from meetings I attend of the fellowship. And I like to go every day because not only is it fellowship, it's friendship too. And the fellowship enables me to function in ordinary living, just being an ordinary human. So there's a statement of intent at the beginning of every meeting, and it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So two primary bits in there for me. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking, and that final sentence, our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And because I go to meetings every day, I went to one of my regulars last night. I did a lot of chairs last week, so I missed seeing my friends in fellowship to an extent, but I did meet other people I knew. And last night at the Hut, which is a venue not far from the King's Road in Chelsea, a very, very big meeting last night, and much good sharing about what it is to be in recovery, and the gift, if you like, whether you're a newcomer, 1 day, 1 hour sober, or just 1 hour away from a drink, we all realise we're only an arm's length away from the next one if we are not aware of our emotional, spiritual and physical well-being, or if there's something going on in us which is causing us to have resentfulness, mostly against ourselves, and if we resent ourselves we get back to resenting other people. And one of the things, when there are newcomers in the room, is really to share about what it's like to be a newcomer, and I never forget that. because it's all very well talking about the 12 steps of action to change our attitude and behaviour and to be open, honest and willing. That can be very confusing in early days. People are just looking for some respite from this obsession and how to get out of it. The most important message always is try to find honesty, openness and willingness to change again. And that's where the 12 steps come in. And it took me a while to actually get to a place where I understood I needed to find a way to change my attitude and behaviour. And that's what fellowship did for me. And in the books or the literature of AA, it's in the Daily Reflections, this book particularly, it talks about the 12 steps and 12 traditions. And October is always about step 10, which is about taking personal inventory on a daily basis, or when it's appropriate in the day, to ask ourselves what's working for us and what's not working for us. And for today, it's not necessarily just about step 10, but it talks about our survival. And it says, since recovery from alcoholism is life itself to us, it is imperative that we present in full strength our means of survival. And that comes from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 177. The honesty expressed by members of AA in meetings has the power to open my mind. Nothing can block the flow of energy that honesty carries with it. The only obstacle to this flow of energy is inebriation. But even then, no one will find a closed door if he or she has left and chooses to return. Once he or she has received the gift of sobriety, each AA member is challenged on a daily basis to accept a program of honesty. My higher power created me for a purpose in life. I ask him to accept my honest efforts to continue on my journey in the spiritual way of life. I call on him for strength to know and seek his will, or better known as God. And for me, God is truth, God is love, and God works through people. And excuse me, if God was working through people last night, well, I suspect, definitely, because there was lots of experience, strength and hope about how to get started being sober and then how to keep on going. And it's not a lonely process. We can't do it in isolation, so meetings for me essential. And as Bill sees it, co-founder, page 243, Morning Thoughts. On awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We ask God or good conscience, depending on your belief system, to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity and from dishonest or self-seeking motives. Free of these, we can employ our mental faculties with assurance, for God or good conscience gave us brains to use. Our thought life will be on a higher plane when our thinking begins to be cleared of wrong motives. If we have to determine which of two courses to take, we ask God for inspiration, an intuitive thought or a decision. Then we relax and take it easy, and we are often surprised how the right answers come after we have tried this for a while, and that involves prayer and meditation sometimes, or just asking another person where we are today and how does it look. We usually conclude our meditation with a prayer that we have shown all through the day what our next step is to be, asking especially for freedom from damaging self-will. And self-will will run riot often. So, for me, in the books, it provides me with an understanding of looking for the open, honest, willing approach to living. And that's the 12 steps in action. Taking the action, putting the effort in to change my attitude and behaviour. And the 12 traditions so important to the fellowship: unity, service and recovery. And I always reflect on anonymity. It's one of those things, it's a touchstone for me. Sanctuary to find our spiritual truth. And to God or good conscience, it's your understanding of God which is important. Gandhi said, God is truth, God is love. And others, or maybe Gandhi as well, said God works through people. So those three ways of looking at a higher power always work for me. So when I say the serenity prayer around acceptance, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, for me, is just for today.